The animated history of Tibet has been in production for a while now, and today I can finally share some updates with you to let you know where we are with the series and to give you an early look at some of the artwork and animation that our team's been making, and it's really good. But first, just in case you don't, you should follow us on Instagram. That's where we're posting most of our production updates, work in progress illustration, and animation. It's all there. And while you're there, you should also check out our affiliated artists and show them some support too. They've been great throughout this whole process as we tweaked the style that we wanted to work in and hammered out our current workflow. They've been fantastic, and you'll find all of their portfolios linked in the video description below. We also want to thank our co-producers and backers at Tibet House US, who've been incredibly supportive and understanding. They've given us a lot of creative space in the art direction of this series, which we hope translates into animation that is as culturally faithful and historically accurate as possible. So where are we right now? Well, as I'm recording this, we're putting the finishing touches on the first episode. So we're doing the audio design, balancing the audio, and using some post-production magic to add a layer to the animation. Now we're moving through the entire series from episode to episode. So as we go into post-production for episode 1, we're also beginning the pre-production phase for episode 2. And right now things are looking pretty good for our release date, which, in case you haven't heard, has been moved to the 10th of February 2024. And we'll be releasing the first 3 episodes spaced out by a week or two between the 10th of February and the first week of March 2024. We hope to have Tibetan and Mandarin language versions of the first 3 episodes available later in the year, probably in the summer of 2024, so keep an eye out for updates on the Tibetan and Mandarin language versions of the series later in the year. We're also launching a merch store, hopefully at the end of October, where you can buy museum-quality prints of our maps and artwork. These look really nice. I have them framed at home myself and are a great way to support the project as we continue with production. I'll add a link to that as soon as it's possible in the video description as well. And I'll be talking about the maps and animation in more detail in separate videos, walking through our creative choices and some of the compromises that we've had to make here and there because of our budget. But the maps are all done at this point, and we're integrating them into each episode in post-production. And we've done some really interesting stuff with those. We basically mapped out the entire Tibetan Plateau and its surrounding regions in the series style. And that's across multiple different time periods. So the landscape, the cities, fortresses, and monasteries, they all change over time. And that was no small feat. We're also doing city maps of the major locations that we'll visit throughout the series too, like Lhasa, for example. And this is our map of Lhasa in the 1930s, which will be available in our online store as well. We spent a lot of time, more than anticipated actually, in general pre-production, working a lot on material culture. So the costume design, set design, and general design of the major characters that appear in the first 3 episodes. There are a lot of things about the Tibetan Empire in particular, like oathing ceremonies, for example, where the major clans would have made oaths to support the Tsempo, the great monarchs at the head of the Tibetan Empire. And no one really knows what these looked like, so we've had to imagine those sequences and create a thematic style for those types of things that works within the rest of the series and still fits within our budget. And our cultural consultant, Tenzin Chopel, has been really helpful with those sequences, as have the interviews that we've been doing with historians and specialists in Tibetan studies that we hope will furnish the series with that extra bit of historical and cultural fidelity. So that's where we are as of the first week of October 2023. It's getting pretty exciting, but this is a big project, so please do be patient. Our priorities are always historical accuracy and really good artwork, and those things both take time. So while we have part 1 more or less sorted, that's episodes 1, 2, and 3, episodes 4 through 9 are going to take time. So do follow us on Instagram to get more regular production updates, and subscribe to our YouTube channel and enable notifications so you know the moment the first episode drops, and you can get future updates going forward. Another way that you can help support the project is by becoming one of our backers on Patreon, like these wonderful people right here who have been very patient with me. The animated history of Tibet has been taking up a lot of my time and attention this year, and I haven't been producing as much general social science content as I would otherwise. So thank you very much for your understanding and continued support. It really does mean the world to me. But wherever you are, whatever you do, I hope you never stop learning.